Right now, I'm watching NXT, the episode from October 15th, 2024. Stephanie Vaquer is scheduled to make her debut match here on this show. Now, I gotta say, I like the fact that NXT is now on the CW because now I can see it for free online. Whereas when it was on USA, you have to pay something, either like a television subscription fee or some other kind of subscription service in order to see NXT. Obviously, it used to be on the WWE Network, or they used to have episodes on Peacock. They stopped doing that. So this is now free to watch. So that's what I like about this. And I also like the fact that they're bringing in a lot of top name stars from the independents and other promotions and bringing them into NXT, and also bringing in people from TNA into NXT. I think it just makes it a much more interesting, fascinating show instead of just having developmental talent competing on the show, which makes it sort of like kind of a whatever type of broadcast. Now, this is an episode that is leading up to Halloween Havoc at the end of October. So there should be some developments on this show regarding Halloween Havoc. Right now, Booker T is standing next to the, they have this like spin the wheel type of thing going on. I think that's going to affect the NXT title match at Halloween Havoc. The NXT champion, I believe, is Trick Williams. And he will be defending against one of the guys who's in a number one contenders match on this episode. The number one contenders match is between Javion Evans and Ethan Page and one other person. So we'll see who that is. Right now, they're showing like a recap of what happened last Tuesday. They've been bringing in a lot of main roster stars to the show in order to, I guess, boost ratings, because they just moved the show to CW at the beginning of October this month. So this is like a brand new thing. And the CW has a much like younger demographic, I believe. And so I think this show will be very popular on the CW. There's another thing about NXT that I want to comment on. It's the fact that they always have a lot of very attractive women on the show, and they know what they're doing. They're doing it on purpose. And even the way that some of these women wrestle is very provocative. And hey, I don't blame WWE for focusing on those women, because it sells. It gets people to watch the show, it gets people to watch clips online, and then they follow all these superstars on Instagram and Twitter and elsewhere. So it's good business. It's smart. I think now that NXT is on the CW and putting these extremely attractive women on the show, and big stars as well, I mean, it's just going to be great for the NXT brand. They got Tony D'Angelo sitting in the ring with the North American title. He beat Obafemi. If I'm mispronouncing some of these names, it's because I don't watch NXT all the time, and I kind of forget who's who. But the thing about NXT is they always give their characters some strange names. I mean, think about it, like Jasmine Nix and Wren Sinclair. And I mean, I could keep going, but it's like they pick the weirdest names for their characters. But maybe they did some research and they found out that weird names work. Who knows? Tony D'Angelo is giving a promo right now. Tony D'Angelo has been in NXT for a while. I don't think people were expecting him to beat Obafemi and win this title. People are chanting for Tony D'Angelo right now. He's hinting that there's going to be a rematch between Tony D'Angelo and Obafemi. Here he comes, Obafemi. I think the WWE is very high on Obafemi, by the way. Another thing I like, though, is that they keep these guys and girls in NXT for a very long time these days. They're not, skyrocketing to the main roster like immediately. Only like some people move to the main roster pretty quickly. I think Tiffany Stratton's an example. Braun Breaker's been around for a couple of years, but everybody knew he was going to the main roster and he's going to be a big star. So, I mean, obviously they move those people when they can see a clear superstar. But people like Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade, they've been in NXT for quite a while. And they're probably going to stay there for quite a while because they're kind of the anchors of this NXT brand. And obviously, because Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade are attractive young women, they're going to keep them on this show because that's going to make the show more popular on CW. But I like that. I mean, they're so young. They have so many years left in their careers. You don't need to put them on Raw or SmackDown. I mean, they're probably going to get lost in the shuffle anyway. I mean, remember what happened when, like, Tatum Paxley went up to the main roster? I mean, there's so many people that sort of just get forgotten about. They're spinning the wheel here, Obafemi. They're saying that the NXT North American title, because Obafemi just spun the wheel, it will be a tables, ladders, and scares match at Halloween Havoc. There's going to be a gentleman's duel. Lexis King will be involved in this gentleman's duel. That is the son of Brian Pillman. Here's Lexis King. Actually, one thing I said earlier about Tatum Paxley, I think it was Tegan Knox who went to the main roster and like nobody cared. Not Tatum Paxley. I think Tatum Paxley is still on this brand. But here is somebody who obviously is going to be a big star, Stephanie Vaquer. Here she comes. Stephanie Vaquer. And her ring gear is very provocative. Again, no mistake about it. I mean, they purposely do this to make this show like centered towards the younger male demographic. Yes, Stephanie Vaquer will be facing Wren Sinclair. Now, Stephanie Vaquer, obviously, she's making her debut on this episode, her debut match. I mean, she appeared in a previous episode for the first time. But you got to believe that Stephanie Vaquer will be competing at Halloween Havoc. I mean, I like when they bring in people who are actually going to sell some tickets. People like Stephanie Vaquer, Julia, even like Joe Hendry. They brought him in from TNA. I wish they would bring in Nick Nemeth from TNA. They should totally do that. Obviously, Dolph Ziggler. That would be hilarious. They should bring in the former WWE guys. Why not? I mean, they bring in everybody else, right? They brought in Jordan Grace. They brought in Zach Wentz. And now people from NXT are going to TNA too. Sol Ruka was on TNA. Yeah, here comes Wren Sinclair from the No Quarter Catch crew. Here we go. Match just started. Stephanie Vaquer, Wren Sinclair. Oh. Wren Sinclair. Yeah, they're just exchanging holds here, Wren Sinclair and Stephanie Vaquer. They're mentioning Stephanie Vaquer's CMLL accomplishments. That's another thing I like that WWE does these days, is mentioning the histories of these big stars that they've brought in. They used to be like hesitant, or maybe they were told, obviously, they were probably told not to ever mention anything outside of WWE. Only WWE exists and nothing else exists. They don't do that anymore, which helps when you bring in a person like Stephanie Vaquer, who has been wrestling for quite a while. I think like 14, 15 years. Stephanie Vaquer is playing to the crowd here. Oh, Wren Sinclair's got a submission hold in. Now she is showing off here, Wren Sinclair. That's gonna eventually work against her. She's working on the arm of Stephanie Vaquer. Still working on that arm. Twisted it. Now Stephanie Vaquer is getting out of it. Got out of it, goes for a Pinfall attempt. Wren Sinclair kicks out. Again, we all know this is just a showcase for Stephanie Vaquer. We know Wren Sinclair is not winning this match. Vaquer is supposed to be a big star for this company. So, especially, she's going to be carrying that NXT brand along with Julia and Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade. All right, Wren Sinclair fighting back. Irish whip to Stephanie Vaquer. She reverses and, oh, sunset flip attempt by Wren Sinclair. That didn't work. And leg drop by Stephanie Vaquer. All right. The cameraman is really focusing on, oh, you know, Stephanie Vaquer is now mashing Wren Sinclair's face into the mat using her legs. Again, a very provocative in-ring style from Vaquer. Goes for the pinfall attempt, and Wren Sinclair kicks out. Yeah, the cameraman is probably having a lot of fun here with these two because they're really focusing on certain things. They do it on purpose. I mean, they do that on purpose in NXT. They are trying to promote their female superstars in a certain way here. And it works. I mean, that's what gets people's attention. They're chopping each other. Vaquer goes for the clothesline. Doesn't work. Sinclair knocks her down. Oh, wow. Double underhook suplex by Wren Sinclair. Stephanie Vaquer. She's just taunting Wren Sinclair. Grapevine the leg. And let's see. Oh, knees to the face in the corner. Looks like she's setting up for the finish here. Oh, absolutely. She hits her finishing move. 1, 2, 3, done. Stephanie Vaquer wins her debut match in NXT. By the way, during the match, they showed Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez looking on it at a monitor backstage, and then they looked like they were headed somewhere. They're probably going to head out here. That was a good showcase for Vaquer, who basically beat Wren Sinclair without breaking a sweat. So you know she's going to be in the title picture very quickly, immediately. Okay, here we go. Cora Jade, Roxanne Perez beating the heck out of Vaquer. 2-on-1. And here comes Julia immediately to make the save. Headbutt. Oh, wow. She's trying to fight both of them on her own. She did a headbutt to Roxanne Perez, but Vaquer is recovering, though. Oh, Julia just knocked both of them down. And now both of them just kicked Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade in the face, and they just rolled out of the ring. Yep. Here they are standing tall, and Vaquer is asking for the microphone. Okay, she just said you two versus us two at Halloween Havoc. So a tag match between Julia and Stephanie Vaquer versus Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez. That should be entertaining. Stephanie Vaquer, English is obviously not her first language. She's from Chile. But hey, it's okay that they keep it simple. She can speak with her wrestling skills. So can Julia. They're showing Trick Williams and Kalani Jordan backstage. And they're talking about the number one contenders match between Ethan Page, Wesley, and Javion Evans coming later in the show. Fatal Influence is watching Kalani Jordan in the background here. Let's see if they attack. Here comes JC Jane, Jasmine Nix. I think that's Izzy Dame. Here comes Lexis King, Brian Pillman's son. I don't think I'll ever get used to that name, Lexis King. I know he wants to separate himself from being Brian Pillman's son, but you know, Braun Breaker did the same thing. He doesn't want to just live off the great career of his father and his uncle, the Steiners. And it's worked out fine for him. I don't know why he chose Braun Breaker. That's a little bit of a kind of a silly name to me, but hey, you know, he's doing well on the main roster. Let's see what Lexis King's future looks like. I wonder what will main event Halloween Havoc. Will it be the women's tag match between Roxanne Perez, Cora Jade versus Julia and Stephanie Vaquer? I could totally see that main eventing over whatever the title match is. Because the title match will be Trick Williams versus whoever wins the #1 contenders match here. I think the women's tag match is the bigger draw and should probably be the main event. And who do I think will win that match? Well, I gotta go with Julia and Stephanie Vaquer, because that could lead to a title match for Julia or Stephanie Vaquer, whoever scores the pin over Roxanne Perez, and that could lead to their next big show. I could totally see Stephanie Vaquer being the one who pins Roxanne Perez in that match. Or Julia should probably get a rematch, because the last one ended because of interference from Cora Jade. So this could actually lead to another title match for Julia, where she could actually win and beat Roxanne Perez, because they can't have Roxanne Perez beat all these women who are going to be huge stars on the main roster. Julia is going to be a huge star on the main roster. Stephanie Vaquer, probably the same thing, but she just got here. But I could totally see Julia doing big things. As far as Obafemi facing Tony D'Angelo at Halloween Havoc, I could totally see Obafemi regaining the title. I think mainly because he has like such a huge future, but because I don't think they're pushing Tony D'Angelo. I don't think they are. I mean, yeah, he's got the title right now, but they're showing Sean Spears and Brooke Jensen backstage. Brooks Jensen. They're talking about this gentleman's duel match that's coming up between Lexis King and his opponent. You can't strike the opponent when they have 4 points of contact on the ground. You can't throw them over the top rope into the floor. You have to break on 3 when there's a rope break, and then you can't fight on the floor. Any breaking of those rules will result in a disqualification. Here comes Oro Mensah, his opponent. Let me guess, Lexis King is going to win this match. Okay, match started. They're just exchanging holds here. Some chain wrestling. Oro Mensah tried to kick Lexis King in the face, but the referee stopped him because Lexis King has 4 points of contact on the ground. And that would have resulted in a disqualification. Arm drag by Lexis King. Arm drag by Oro Mensah. Yeah, this is one of those matches where you remember that this is a developmental brand. because it really feels like a practice match so far. Oh, Lexis King tried to jump to the top rope from the mat. It didn't work, but he hit a crossbody, went for the cover, and Oro Mensah kicks out at 2. Oro Mensah just punched Lexis King in the face. Lexis King tries to retaliate. That didn't work. Oh, Oro Mensah jumped on the ropes, and then Lexis King tried to throw him over the top, and that would have resulted in a disqualification because of the rules of this match. So he caught him and dragged him back inside. Although I will give them credit, the rules of this match, this gentleman's duel, is making this match more interesting than it probably would have been otherwise. Because otherwise it just would have been another cookie cutter match. Okay, they just took a commercial break. They're back. They're fighting on the middle rope here. Now Oro Mensah flat on his back on the mat. Lexis King top rope. Hits a swanton bomb. 1, 2. Oro Mensah kicks out at 2. Lexis King in control here. Knees to the midsection of Oro Mensah. Oro flips him over. Oro Mensah starting a comeback here. Chops to Lexis King. Lots of chops. About 10 of them. Head scissors takedown by Oro Mensah on Lexis King. Okay. Goes for the cover. Oro Mensah. No. King kicks out. Oh, like a fisherman driver there by Lexis King, and Oro Mensah kicks out. They're showing a split screen here. Lola Vice warming up at the back. She will be going a one-on-one with Nikkita Lyons, who is returning here tonight. Okay, Lexis King and Oro Mensah trading uppercuts now. Lexis King getting the better of the exchange now. And yeah, that didn't work. Oro Mensah kicked him in the face. Lexis King now climbing again to the top rope, and that now he paid for it. Oro Mensah kicked him in the face, and Lexis King fell down into the middle of the ring. Oro Mensah springboard kick to the face of Lexis King. Goes for the cover. 1, 2. Lexis King kicks out. All right, this match is okay so far. I'll give him some credit. It's better than I thought it was going to be. Super kick by Lexis King. See, the problem is there's no selling in these matches. Like, it's like the guy who just like crashed and burned is hitting a super kick. It's like they're just going back and forth. Your turn, my turn, your turn, my turn, and there's very little selling going on. Mensah went for an inside cradle. Lexis King kicked out. Pinfall attempt by Lexis King. Mensah kicks out. Going crucifix pin by Mensah. Lexis King kicks out of that one. Another pinfall attempt by Lexis King. Whoa, they got the 3 count with like a really weird pinfall attempt that included a bridge by Lexis King. Kind of an anticlimactic end to that match. Again, this is a developmental brand, but it was all right. It was all right. You got Axiom, Nathan Frazier backstage. Javon Evans and Wesley as well. And Cedric Alexander. Javon Evans and Wesley are arguing. Javon is a lot bigger than Wesley. Those guys are both in this triple threat #1 contenders match. But up next will be Lola Vice versus Nikkita Lyons. Again, you see, this proves my point that I mentioned earlier. They really focus on promoting certain women and it works for them. I mean, that's like one of the focuses of NXT is promoting beautiful female superstars. And that's why this brand is getting popular, more and more popular. Although that's not to discredit Lola Vice and Nikkita Lyons. Both of them are martial artists, by the way. I know Lola Vice has had some professional fights as well. And they're both big stars on this brand now. Especially Lola Vice. I'm pretty sure they think Lola Vice has a huge future on the main roster. I could see her getting to the main roster probably next year. If not becoming NXT Women's Champion. They might just keep her on NXT and have her be NXT Women's Champion. Out of all the women, I think, well, obviously Julia is the one with the biggest future because she's already like a certified star in women's wrestling. Like, she's competed all over the world, and I mean, most people think she is one of the best female wrestlers in the world already. She's very young. She's got a huge future ahead of her. So I think Julia is somebody who's probably going to be main eventing like WrestleMania one day. Or at least having a women's title match at WrestleMania one day. I could totally see her. She's got the biggest future. She's got the wrestling skills. She got the look. She's already super popular. She's got it all. Could you imagine a match like Julia versus Becky Lynch? Or Julia versus Charlotte Flair? I mean, I know Becky Lynch isn't with the company right now, but I mean, that's probably a match she would come back for. I could see Becky coming back on like a part-time basis. She's not under contract, but or how about Julia versus Io Sky? That's a match. I mean, there's so many main roster matches I'd want to see with Julia. They're showing a recap from Raw. Lash Legend and Jakara were at Raw to watch the women's tag title match that took place between Damage Control and Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill retained. They're showing a promo video with Lash Legend and Jakara talking about Io Sky. Oh, they're going to face Damage Control next week. Jakara Jackson, Lash Legend versus Io Sky and Kairi Sane. And after they faced Damage Control, they said they're going to be coming for Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair for those tag titles. Yeah, I don't think Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair will be losing those tag titles anytime soon. And obviously everybody wants to see the match Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair. I could see that happening at WrestleMania next year. It could be a situation like what they did at WrestleMania 21 when Eddie Guerrero faced Rey Mysterio in a one-on-one match while they were tag team champions. I could totally see that happening at WrestleMania. Just Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill wanting to find out who's the better of the two. And so they have a one-on-one match at WrestleMania. And if I had to pick who would win that match between Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair, I got to go with Bianca Belair. But it would be a close one probably. I think they would have Bianca win just because she is such a big star. So is Jade Cargill. But I mean, like, Bianca in the ring is miles ahead of Jade Cargill right now. Obviously in the future, we don't know. Cargill could be incredible in the future if she keeps going the way she's going. But right now she's not where Bianca Belair is. Oh, they're showing a promo video of Nikkita Lyons, who's in action next against Lola Vice. Yeah, Nikkita Lyons had an injury. Now she's back. Here comes Lola Vice, her opponent. Yeah, I mean, I think NXT is going to be super, super popular on CW because of people like Lola Vice, Nikkita Lyons, Cora Jade, Roxanne Perez, Stephanie Vaquer, and Julia. I mean, I could just see. I understand why they keep these women on the brand instead of moving them to the main roster. It gives NXT a whole different kind of vibe as compared to Raw or SmackDown. I don't know whose idea that was. Maybe, I don't know if it was Shawn Michaels' idea, but there's like a real emphasis on pretty young women on the show. And it feels like the women are more of a focus on the show than the men on NXT. It really feels that way. Obviously, I expect Nikkita Lyons to win this match. It's a return match. But, you know, Lola Vice has been heavily pushed for quite a few months now. Let's see how good the match is. By the way, as far as Crown Jewel goes, which is coming up, I'm not really a big fan of the champion versus champion matches because you know there's going to be some silliness involved. Like Cody Rhodes versus Gunther. There's no way that either of them is landing a clean pin on the other. There's no way. There has to be interference. I'm expecting the Bloodline to interfere and cost Cody Rhodes the match. Or yeah, that he probably is going to cost Cody Rhodes the match. Yeah, I mean, just so that Gunther could say, oh, he beat Cody Rhodes, he's beat Randy Orton, he's beat all these big stars. I mean, Gunther could use the win more than Cody. I mean, Cody's set. As far as Liv Morgan going one-on-one with Nia Jax, this might be the night where Tiffany Stratton permanently breaks with Nia Jax. I could totally see Tiffany Stratton accidentally costing Nia Jax the match against Liv Morgan and have Liv Morgan win. Here comes Nikkita Lyons. I could definitely see Nikkita Lyons being a pretty big star and when she makes it to the main roster just because she has such a unique look. Okay, they're trading kicks here. Remember, these two women are legit martial artists. That's true. They could do some they could do a lot of striking here using their martial arts backgrounds. They're taking turns shaking their you know what. Again, I know why they're doing this. I know why NXT does this kind of stuff. I think we all do. So what people want to see. What can I say? Oh, Nikkita Lyons slams Lola Vice. Another slam. Lola Vice has a sleeper hold on Nikkita Lyons. Nikkita Lyons is going from corner to corner trying to slam Lola Vice's back into the turnbuckles to get her off. Finally, she just slams her down, goes for the cover. Lola Vice kicks out. Oh, Nikkita Lyons landing some kicks now. Oh, Lola Vice takes her down. Elbows. Yeah, they're doing this like they're definitely incorporating martial arts elements into this match, which is a breath of fresh air here. Lola Vice going for the armbar, but Nikkita Lyons immediately got to the ropes. Elbow by Nikkita Lyons, another elbow. Oh, forearms, punches, and knocks down Lola Vice. But Lola Vice comes back. Multiple kicks. Nikkita picks her up though. Lola gets off, and now she's kicking Nikkita into the corner. Jada Parker just got up on the ring apron. She just ran out. Lola Vice kicks her down. Now Nikkita Lyons, huge kick to Lola Vice, who rolls out of the ring. Jada Parker, knee to right to Lola Vice's face, throws Lola Vice back in the ring. Wow. Referee was distracted by Nikkita Lyons. Nikkita, the Lions roar, big splash, and gets the 1-2-3 on Lola Vice. Wins her return match. Lola is staring at Jada Parker. That wasn't a knee to the face that Jada hit Lola Vice with. That was the hypnotic, a hip right to the face. Stephanie Vaquer, Julia backstage with NXT General Manager Ava Rain. Fatal Influence walked in. They want to face Kalani Jordan. Okay, so next week it will be Julia and Stephanie Vaquer against Fatal Influence. So, we know who's going to win that one. Come on. Oh, actually, I could totally see Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez interfering, costing Julia and Stephanie Vaquer the match, and then Fatal Influence will get their match with Kalani Jordan. But here comes Riley Osborne with Thea Hale, Chase University. Thea Hale, now she is an amazing, entertaining character on this show. I've seen her stuff. She's really fun. I think one day, she's another one who's super young, so she's probably going to be around for a while. Probably going to wind up being NXT champion one day. I mean, more and more NXT is starting to feel like a real brand that can stand on its own. It used to be that back when Sami Zayn was there, Charlotte Flair, Bayley, Sasha Banks. It was just a who's who. Cesaro, or now known as Claudio Castagnoli. I mean, he's back to his old name. But that was when NXT was awesome. That was like 2013, 2014, 2015. That was NXT at its peak. Maybe even 2016. But yeah, there was a period of time there where they were just like better than the main roster during those like 4 years. But then it kind of changed, and it really became like the athletes that they get from the colleges and stuff, the Division I athletes being brought in, and just it became more of a developmental brand. But now it's starting to get back to that, okay, they've got some independent stars, they got some people from AEW, they bring in people from TNA, so you're seeing more entertaining matches and more established performers, which makes the brand better. So that's why NXT is really worth watching these days. So far, the best match on the show has been Lola Vice and Nikkita Lyons. It was short, but at least the match itself it made sense, you know. Stephanie Vaquer and Wren Sinclair was okay too. I hope the men's triple threat that's coming up, I hope that's worth the wait. Okay, they're showing Ridge Holland getting attacked by Chase University member. I think is that Riley Osborne? Yeah. That was last Tuesday. Here comes Ridge Holland. Ridge Holland versus Riley Osborne. Oh, Riley Osborne starts the match early, attacks him on the outside. Now he's going to dive over the top. Big dive off, big flip over the top rope to Ridge Holland. Riley Osborne is totally in control here, But it looks like Ridge, okay, slams him down. He's coming back now. I mean, I gotta be honest, like, now Thea Hale reminds me of something. It's like, Thea Hale is on the outside supporting Osborne, but you know, the thing that really caught my attention with the NXT brand in over the past year, maybe year or two, it's all the young female superstars on the brand, and that's why I started paying attention to it. I mean, it really is the big draw for the brand. It really isn't the guys at all. Because I don't think any of the guys on this brand have like done anything super stellar or anything. Like nobody's like making a lot of noise, but the female superstars, everyone talks about them. So everybody pays attention to the female superstars on this brand. And the women are taking bigger roles on the main roster shows too. Not as big as NXT. I mean, women are the main story of NXT if you look at all the women on the show. But main roster, the whole Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley situation is taking over the show the whole year. And also the Bayley, Nia Jax stuff has taken up most of the year as well. Ridge Holland, gut wrench. Redeemer DDT by Ridge Holland, and he wins the match. That was a real basic match. Nothing special. Real quick. Thea Hale is despondent on the outside. Oh, Ridge Holland is attacking Riley Osborne after the bell now. Ridge Holland is now clearing off the announce table. He's got Riley Osborne on the outside. Okay, he just threw Osborne on the table. He's on the table too now. Thea Hale is shouting, trying to stop him. Andre Chase is back to make the save. He's attacking Ridge Holland. And clotheslines Ridge Holland over the top rope. And Thea Hale comes in the ring hugging Andre Chase. Andre Chase totally does not look like a professional wrestler. No offense, but I think that's the point, but still. They're showing a recap of Sol Ruka beating Wendy Chu. Tatum Paxley also attacked Wendy Chu after the match. Now they're visiting Tatum Paxley backstage. Byron Saxton is interviewing her. This show reminds me of the WWE's version of ECW. It was like its own world, that ECW brand, which I liked. This kind of feels like that. Also, the other ECW, I mean, that ECW had more talent than this show, but yeah, again, it's a developmental brand. Jada Parker just interrupted. Ashante the Adonis will be facing Brooks Jensen. Ty Dillinger is in the, or Sean Spears, I'm sorry. He doesn't call himself Ty Dillinger anymore. Sean Spears is in the corner of Brooks Jensen. Ashante the Adonis taking control over Brooks Jensen. Oh. Goes for the cover, Ashante the Adonis, and Brooks Jensen immediately kicks out. I could never imagine somebody like Brooks Jensen being on the main roster or Andre Chase being on the main roster. I mean, they got a good gig here in NXT. Obviously, they've been there for a while. But I think there's some people who are just built for NXT. And I think it's the same thing in AEW. There's people who are built for AEW, but I just can't imagine them in like a main roster feud with anybody in the WWE, like a Raw or SmackDown feud. It's like, I guess you have to have a certain look or something, because like it would be so funny to see Brooks Jensen in the ring with somebody like Roman Reigns or Andre Chase in the same ring as somebody like Cody Rhodes. I mean it would just be a little strange. I'm guessing Ashante the Adonis is going to win this match. Ooh, Brooks Jensen, elbow to the head of Ashante the Adonis. Goes for the cover. 1, 2, no. Brooks Jensen is, it's got a hold on, Ashante the Adonis. Ethan Page is warming up in the back for his number 1 contenders triple threat match that he will be having with Javon Evans and Wesley. Which, by the way, Ethan Page looks like a much bigger star than either of those guys. Former NXT champion. I mean, what can I say? Ashante the Adonis is very smooth in the ring. I gotta give him that. I don't know how high his ceiling is, but somebody's coming down the entrance ramp. Carmen Petrovic has walked down to ringside. Ashante the Adonis is distracted by Carmen Petrovic because she dumped a bunch of rose petals on the apron of the ring. That was enough to distract Ashante the Adonis. And Brooks Jensen tried to capitalize, but Ashante the Adonis is still in control here. And it's looking like Ashante's going to win this match, probably sooner rather than later. Oh, DDT by Brooks Jensen. 1, 2, 3. Wow, Brooks Jensen beats Ashante the Adonis. Not sure why, but there you go. Here we go. Number one contender, triple threat match coming up. Ethan Page, Wes Lee, Javon Evans. Let's go. They're showing Lexis King backstage. No quarter catch crew. Tony D'Angelo in the parking lot. Obafemi will be facing a member of Tony D'Angelo's family next week. They're talking about next week, Io Sky, Kairi Sane versus Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson. Okay, come on. You know Io Sky and Kairi Sane are winning that match. Unless Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair interfere. But I gotta believe Io Sky and Kairi Sane gotta win that match. They can't be losing a match to those two. And Julia and Stephanie Vaquer against Fatal Influence next week. Actually, now that I think about it, I mentioned earlier I could see Julia and Stephanie Vaquer losing because of interference, but no, they got to win because they got a tag match at the next show, at the Halloween Havoc. They got to win. They got to win that match, and they will. Yeah, they can't have Julia and Stephanie Vaquer lose to Fatal Influence. Come on. Here comes Javon Evans for the main event. Here comes Wes Lee. Yeah, again, Wesley is again another guy who's probably built for NXT. They just announced that he was 178 pounds. Yeah, I mean, like you can't take him seriously in the ring against somebody like Cody Rhodes or Roman Reigns. Unless he's as good in the ring as somebody like Rey Mysterio, he's probably going to be staying on NXT for a long, long time. Here comes Ethan Page. Javon Evans just super kicked Wesley to start the match. Now Ethan Page, Javon Evans pairing off. They're doing some three-man exchanges here early on. Yeah, they're doing a whole bunch of pinfall attempts to start off the match. Oh, Ethan Page kick to Javon Evans' face. Javon kicks at it too. Wesley's on the outside. I'm not really a fan when they do these multi-person matches and then there's way too many contrived 3-person spots, because it's like then you know they just practice it everything ahead of time. Like there's a way to do it so it seems organic, but if you do too many of the 3-person stuff, it's like, all right, it's like it takes you out of the match, because it's very hard to suspend your disbelief when you're seeing that going on. Oh, they're showing a graphic on the screen that the Royal Rumble will be in Indianapolis on February 1st. That's pretty late for a Royal Rumble. They're really having a lot of time between these PLEs, which in some ways is good though. I mean, going overboard is, not necessary. Wesley and Javon Evans are fighting, and Ethan Page is just like cheering them on. Oh, Wesley went for a tornado DDT on Ethan Page on the outside. Ethan Page counters and flips him onto the announce table. Oh, wow. Javon Evans just flew from the ring to the announce table and crashed into Ethan Page. Now Javon Evans is standing tall as they head into a commercial break. In terms of PLEs, I mean, I think one a month is fine. But sometimes they go for a while. Like, I don't know if there is going to be a PLE between the Survivor Series and the Royal Rumble, which means that's like almost a 2-month break between PLEs. But let me look that up. Let me see if there's going to be a PLE in December. I'm not including NXT. No, so no, there will be no PLE between Survivor Series, which is on the last day of November, November 30th, and the Royal Rumble, which is on February 1st. So you got December and January, nothing going on in terms of PLEs for the main roster of WWE. Wow. That's interesting. Maybe they'll announce something later. Who knows? I think they may have done the same thing last year. Can't remember. They probably do that maybe because the holidays, they want to let the talent spend time with their families and stuff. I could see that happening. They're back now. All three guys are currently down. Whoa. Javon Evans is a heck of an athlete, though. I'll give him that. Javon and Wes are getting to their feet here. They're fighting each other. Ethan Page in the corner down. Trading punches, Wesley and Javon Evans. Ethan Page in control right now. Wesley outside the ring. Javon Evans slammed by Ethan Page. 1, 2. Wesley breaks up the pin. Wesley elbowing both guys, and Javon Evans punch to Ethan. Super kick by Wesley, goes for a tornado DDT, hits it. Standing shooting star press on Ethan Page. Wesley went for the cover, Ethan Page kicks out. I mean, Wesley and Javon are excellent athletes. But NXT has tons and tons of excellent athletes. And the thing is, Ethan Page is just a better character at this point in their careers. Ethan Page has way more experience. I mean, he's another one of these guys that's been, another one of these people, I should say, that's been brought in who has a ton of experience. People like Julia, Stephanie Vaquer. Ethan Page is another guy. They just did a triple kick to each other and they all fell down. Again, that's the kind of spot I don't like because it looks so pre-planned and fake and it just takes you out of the match. Like when AEW had like a fatal four-way between MJF, Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara, and Jack Perry, all four guys kept doing these four-man spots. Like they all did Canadian Destroyers 4 in a row, and it was like, you know, what's the point? You know, it's like, oh, now NXT fans are chanting "Fight Forever." See, I don't really understand that. You know, it's like when you do these fake spots, today's audiences eat it up, but I like when a match seems more realistic, when they're telling a story, not the, oh, hey, look at this cool spot we all planned together backstage before the show. It's like, oh, Spanish fly off the top rope by Javon Evans on Ethan Page. Kick to Wesley, goes for the cover. Wesley kicks out. Ethan Page going for Ego's Edge on Javon Evans, but he counters. Meteora. Okay, see, now they're just doing crazy moves. Javon Evans just hit a huge cutter on Wesley, and Wesley kicks out. That's the other problem. You know, when you're hitting these big moves, big move after big move, and you're getting all these kickouts, it cheapens the value of each big move, because it's like NXT audiences are just so accustomed to seeing tons of pinfall attempts, tons of big moves, and it's like, you know, everything starts to look the same after a while. Again, these guys don't have the philosophy that less is more. I do have that philosophy, and some other people do on this show as well. Like the Stephanie Vaquer match. That was fine for what it was. It wasn't like this at all. They did another 3-man spot where Wesley got the worst of it. Javon Evans super kick to Ethan Page. I mean, at this point, they're just hitting big move, big move, big move. Everything's just big moves. Okay. Javon Evans is a big move on Wesley. Ethan Page rolls up Javon Evans and steals the 1-2-3. Ethan Page is now the #1 contender to the NXT Championship. Will face Trick Williams at Halloween Havoc. Now he's going to cut a promo. Now they're going to spin this wheel to find out what's going to be the gimmick for their match at Halloween Havoc. Here comes Trick Williams. Okay. Ethan Page spins the wheel. Devil's Playground match. That's what they're going to do at Halloween Havoc. Trick Williams says he's not scared, and oh my goodness. Ethan Page just clocked him in the head with a coffee urn or something. All right, Ethan Page standing tall. I think Trick Williams will retain at Halloween Havoc. I think Trick Williams has a big future ahead of him. And that was NXT. Thank you for watching.